So, a very wonderful day to our professor and to the whole block. So, today I would be covering the first part of the textbook Cultural Perspective on Millennials. This is the fifth chapter titled Millennials and the Media, written by Mr. Arthur Asa Berger. So, millennials, this is the generation born between the early 1980s and the early 2000s. So, the millennials have grown up in a world defined by rapid technological advancements and the proliferation of digital media. This generation has a unique relationship with media, shaping and being shaped by the ever evolving media landscape. So, this book that we would be tackling today delves into the complex interplay between millennials and the media. We will explore how technology has transformed the way millennials consume, create, and share information. From social media platforms to streaming services, millennials have embraced digital media as an integral part of their lives. So, we will be examining the impact of the media on millennials' identity formation, social relationship, and cultural values. So, these are the things that we would expect during the discussion of this topic. So, as I said earlier, I would be only covering the first part of this book. First off, my name is Miss Jhoie Chazandra Gemeniano from the Polytechnic University of the Philippines, third year broadcasting student. So, to finally start off, let me first introduce the author, Mr. Arthur Asaberger. So, Mr. Arthur is a professor emeritus of broadcast and electronic communication arts at San Francisco State University. And Mr. Arthur is also an author of more than 130 articles and more than 70 books on media, popular culture, humor, and tourism. So in this chapter, Berger quoted a lot of materials to to find the interplay between millennials and the media. So first material quoted is from ComScore, wherein it states that um, it offers the readers to find the distinctive traits of millennials and their way to relate to the media. So, according to the recent report from ComScore, it shows that 18 to 34-year-olds in the US use Facebook more than any social network. It was also reported by the same material that millennials spend 2.5 times more on Facebook than the second leading network, which is Snapchat. So, to further describe the millennials' way of spending time on social media, particularly on the social media called Facebook, Berger also quoted another article written by Tanya Gazdik titled Millennials' Most Digitally Connected Generation. So, according to this Experian Marketing Services article, it states that millennials spend 14.5 hours each week on accessing social media. This also includes texting, talking, and such on their smartphones. So, compared to other generations, they are using this access on social media more compared to other generations. And it also stated that 77% of the millennials all own a smartphone. So millennials also take up only 29% of the population, but written on this article written by Gazdik, the report finds that the total spending time of millennials on their smartphones is equals to 41%. So millennials also spend the most time on social media on approximately 9.5 hours a day, or in total 67 hours. But please note that with these materials, it also suggests that millennials use Facebook quite differently now compared to how they use it years ago. So the question is, with the amount of consumption of millennials on Facebook, what impact does this use of Facebook have on their lives? And what does this reflect about their psyches? To answer this question, Berger quoted an article titled Social Media, Social Avatars, and the Psyche, Is Facebook Good for Us? Written by the psychiatrist David Bronskill. So in this article or in this material, Bronskill argues that when we post on social media, we tend to self-elect favorable materials to represent ourselves. This results in the creation of a socially driven and socially derived composite online image, or Bronskill called this the social avatar. To Bronskill, this social avatar or online image and our offline identity has a big gap between each other. So instead of asking, what are millennials doing on Facebook? Berger also suggests that we should ask what Facebook is doing to millennials. So going back to Bronskill's statement about social avatar, his article mentioned that this social avatar could contribute to a number of psychological problems called psychopathology. And this psychopathology that Bronskill is stating is called the net effect. So the net effect, or the transformation of personality via social avatar, was proposed to consist of five psychological forces. And these psychological forces are grandiosity, darkness, narcissism, impulsivity, and regression. Brunskill's concern on the millennials' consumption time on media is that this may result in unrecognizable consequences, and a person may also display harmful behavior such as cyberbullying. So, contrary to this, Berg also quoted another article titled Millennials, Narcissism, and Social Networking: What Narcissists Do on Social Networking Sites and Why, written by Bergman, Farrington, and Davenport. So this study of Bergman et al. Shows that narcissism isn't the strong predictor of the status update of millennials, but more of the reason why millennials is staying active on their social media accounts, as this is a means for them to stay connected and to stay to do the communication for their generation. So rather than narcissistic actions, millennials use social media for staying connected and for communication. So, looking at millennial social media, particularly Facebook consumption, it is quite unexpected that an estimate of 92% of the millennials tune into radio at least once a week. So to further explain this, Berger also quoted Tim Murphy's article titled Millennials Love Radio. Wait, what? So this article shows the statistics from Feb 2015 to Feb 2016 that shows that there has been a growth of 10.5 millennials reported radio listening. So, within the estimate of 92% of the millennial radio listeners, 66% of radio consumption is outside of their homes. So, these findings from the article of Tim Murphy shows or showcase that millennials may be wired to their smartphones, but it doesn't stop them to consume radio. And this radio consumption is more than what is expected. So, to conclude my part on this textbook or this topic, Berger showed a rundown of hours spent by millennial with different mediums of media. So we could see this overall or the overview of millennials and media. So for the statistics of the media usage, 5.04 hours was spent for live television, 2.46 hours for radio, 1.07 hours for smartphones, and 1.01 hours on their personal computers. So the findings is that millennials are wired and the electronic media play an important role in their everyday lives. And we could conclude that millennials are really a great consumers of media, meaning to say that smartphones and staying connected and using media for communication is essential in millennials' daily lives. So this is where I would be concluding my part. Some parts would be discussed with my classmate later on. Thank you so much.